This is WSFA 12 News, Today in Alabama.
Good morning. The violence needs to stop, and police say it may take the entire community. Thanks for joining us on Today in Alabama. I'm Jed Davis.
And I'm Jasmine Williams. Some are calling on police to step up. Others say this is a community crisis.
A beautiful summer day ends in tragedy. What we're learning about a shooting at a Detroit splash pad. Then, after more than a year, the state is taking steps to right some wrongs. How Ohio's Attorney General hopes to get East Palestine back on its feet. And later on, other communities closer to home are doing their own rebuilding. How Point Place is recovering 1 year after a devastating storm. Well, welcome into WTOL 11 this morning. I'm Michael Sandlin. Thank you for joining us. We'll get to all those stories and more in just a moment, but first, let's get a check of that forecast. Meteorologist Matt Willoughby.
Oh,
morning,
yeah.
Matt.
Good morning. Yeah, we got a beautiful view for all those fathers out there.
7 News Detroit this morning starts right now with a breaking news alert.
Rochester Hills, G2, requesting R2 units. We're going to be at the Brooklyn splash pad.
Now at 6, a sunny day at the splash pad ending in violence. Several people shot and injured after a gunman opened fire into a crowded park in Rochester Hills.
I, in my worst nightmare, couldn't imagine standing up here again talking about another active shooter.
The suspected shooter now dead. What the Oakland County Sheriff's Office is saying about that man's history and a possible motive.
A lot of blood. A lot of blood. I know these people. This is my neighborhood. These are friends. These are family members. This is horrible.
A scary scene in Rochester Hills over the weekend. Families on a splash pad playing when a gunman walks up and opens fire. What we now know, next at 6.
I'm next weather meteorologist Troy Bridges. We are in for excessive heat all week long as we head into the mid-90s, but feel like the triple digits. That and storms this morning to watch. We'll take you through it hour by hour straight ahead.
We're going to get to that full next weather forecast in just a minute, but first we start with the shooting in Rochester Hills.
The victims range in age from just 4 to 78 years old, including a pregnant mother.
I'm Storm Team 3 Chief Meteorologist Scott Roberts, and this is your forecast first. As we head into the overnight hours, temperatures will gradually cool off into the 60s. We'll have some areas of patchy fog developing, and temperatures will quickly climb into the lower 80s by 11 o'clock. And it looks like our Wednesday is going to be a little bit warmer than what we had for today, and even hotter days are on the way for the remainder of the work week. We'll talk more about that part of the forecast coming up in a few moments. But First News 3 starts now.
You're watching WSAV on your side. Now, WSAV News 3 at 11.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Ben Singer. Tina has the evening off. WSAV is your local election headquarters. Voters in Georgia made their voices heard today as people all across the state decided on nearly 300 federal, state, county, city races. So we've been bringing you team coverage of the Georgia primary all day long.
Tonight on CFDK TV News, BC's North Coast MLA is going to leave her post soon. A major community event happened in Prince Rupert over the weekend, and the Prince Rupert RCMP are seeking a wanted man.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK TV News.
Good evening, I'm Cale Maslin, and here's what's making news in the Northwest and beyond for today.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Las Vegas. Give them a call, 702-727-9900.
Thank you for joining us here on News 25 and Ace Country Radio and streaming at kpvm.tv and now on Roku devices. I'm David Preston on this Friday, June 14th.
First, fast, accurate. You're watching WSBT 22 News at midday.
Right now at midday, we've learned police have arrested this man in connection to a shooting on the bypass in South Bend. This is an update to a story we first brought you last night after it happened.
All the things. Oh my goodness, especially on a Monday. Good morning to you both. Good morning. Oh yes. Well, hey, actually, good afternoon, and good afternoon to you all as well. Thank you so much for watching KARE 11 News at noon. And right now, we're preparing for more storms tonight and into tomorrow, which is now a weather-worn day.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
The post-fire burning in Southern California reaches new levels. We show you the latest. But first, we're following the hidden fire that broke out yesterday near Bear Mountain in Shasta County. CAL FIRE says about 45 acres have been burned so far, and it's about 35% contained. You can see some of the smoke cameras caught when it first broke out yesterday afternoon.
Now, this is the Fox 11 News at 6.
Welcome, everyone, to the Fox 11 News at 6 o'clock on this Monday night. I'm Marla Tejas. Alex is on assignment tonight. Multiple agencies from around California are battling the post-fire. This is near Gorman. CAL FIRE reports almost 16,000 acres are burning. Containment has grown to 20%.
Removing barriers to citizenship. Ahead on the noon show, the executive order President Biden is set to sign today. Plus, some iconic structures in East Texas are getting a makeover, and there's a festival to honor the world's richest acre. All the details just ahead.
And hot, sticky weather is back in the Piney Woods, and it'll be even hotter and stickier over the weekend. I'll have the sizzling details, so stay right there because the noon show starts right now.
It's Tuesday. Thanks for being with us for the noon show. I'm Mariah Condiff. President Biden is announcing today a large-scale immigration program that will offer legal status and a streamlined path to U.S. citizenship to roughly 500,000 undocumented immigrants.
But living in the United States all this time with this fear and uncertainty, we can fix that. And that's what I'm going to do today.
Mantener a las familias unidas es el objetivo de la nueva orden ejecutiva del presidente Biden, con la que hoy traza un nuevo futuro para más de 500,000 de indocumentados. Una ola de calor potencialmente mortal. Activan protocolos de emergencia en el noreste del país ante la llegada de temperaturas extremas que no se registraban hace más de 30 años. Boeing aterriza en un nuevo escándalo. Empleado revela secretos de la empresa que habría puesto en riesgo la seguridad de los pasajeros. Su confesión reaviva investigaciones. Los Celtics de Boston alcanzan la cima de la NBA. La ciudad se desborda en festejos por la victoria histórica que ya predice el futuro de una nueva dinastía. Así comienza su noticiero 24 horas. Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy buenas tardes y bienvenidos a esta emisión de Noticias 24 Horas. Les saluda con muchísimo gusto Nurmila, gracias por su compañía y vamos a iniciar en Washington, D.C.
Partying like champions, the Celtics taking their trophy on a trip to celebrate their title. Here at home, we're preparing for a parade.
The second day of our high heat and the humidity sticks around.
School's having a hard time handling the heat.
There's no learning happening right now.
How you can keep cool as temperatures climb.
Then, Karen Reed, ready to go on the defense.
I'd like to fill in some holes and correct some lies.
Saying she wants to take the stand.
And what we know about Justin Timberlake's arrest in the Hamptons.
This is 7 News Today in New England.
First up at 7, people across the state beating the heat in Boston. The splash pads are open. It's just one of the ways that you can cool off during this heat wave. Let's take you outside at 7 o'clock and see how things are looking out there. It's not too bad. We've got the sunshine, but just be prepared for the heat. Thanks for starting your morning with us. I'm Amaka Ubaka.
And I'm Brandon Gano. It's really going to heat up today. Let's get to meteorologist Josh Worcester.
Yeah, it's a warm start, but it's about to get hot as we go throughout the afternoon today.
Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, heavy rains over Florida could form into a tropical storm. The UF weather team is tracking the bands of showers and storms.
Plus, officers find the suspect they say is responsible for a deadly crash. The two factors they believe contributed to the accident and why they say he should have never been behind the wheel.
And the woman charged with killing an Ocala mother wants key pieces of evidence kept out of court. The calls she doesn't want the jury to hear. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
The state is continuing to be drenched with rounds of heavy rain, and it's forecasted to continue through the next few days, bringing with it flood watches and warnings, especially in South Florida. Following the rain is a tropical disturbance in the Gulf that the National Weather Service is watching. This is WUFT's First at 5. I'm Jack Meyer.
And I'm Sarah Howard. Several parts of the state have already seen more than 4 inches of rain since Tuesday.
People were transported for injuries ranging from serious to minor.
Several people injured after a house collapsed and perhaps exploded on Carbon Street. The latest we're learning tonight about the 13 people who were inside.
I mean, it wasn't soft either. It was loud. In fact, my house shook.
Plus, we hear from neighbors as they describe the shocking sound on this quiet street. Plus, a live look at the heat advisory still ahead as temperatures are not easing off. It's still hot weather the rest of this week.
This is NBC3 News at 11.
Nearly 7 hours now after a home collapsed on Carbon Street in Syracuse, the fire chief says he has never seen a scene like this before.